Have you ever experienced the sensation of being at a pivotal juncture, clinging to a relationship or friendship due to its comfort and familiarity, while simultaneously recognizing that it may be hindering your personal growth? It can be a difficult realization to accept that those we hold dear, those with whom we have shared laughter, tears, and countless memories, might not be destined to accompany us on our journey indefinitely. This is indeed a profound insight. However, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers valuable guidance for navigating such modern challenges. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature and the quest for a meaningful existence, remind us that personal development often necessitates making difficult decisions regarding the individuals we permit into our lives. This process is not about severing ties with callousness, but rather about intentionally curating our relationships to include those who uplift, inspire, and motivate us to reach our fullest potential. If you find yourself at this crossroads burdened by a decision that could significantly alter your trajectory, know that you are not alone. Today, we will delve into the essence of Stoic wisdom to identify the signs that indicate it may be time to gently release certain connections, thereby creating space for new growth, deeper relationships, and a life that resonates with your highest values. Join me on this journey as we explore the enduring teachings of Stoicism, ready to uncover the freedom and tranquility that arise from thoughtfully selecting our relationships with wisdom and bravery. As we embark on this exploration, I encourage you to subscribe, share this message with someone who may benefit from it, and engage with every segment of this discussion, for each moment may hold the potential to transform your life. If a relationship is impeding your growth, consider it a warning sign. Reflect on this. Have you ever felt immobilized, as though you are unable to progress because someone close to you is not supporting your aspirations? Recognizing growth-stifling relationship. In some cases, individuals may find that certain relationships are hindering their progress, which can create a challenging situation. Seneca emphasized the significance of personal development and self-improvement, asserting that a fulfilling life necessitates continuous evolution learning and the expansion of one's limits. If you find yourself in a relationship, be it with a friend, family member, or partner, where you feel stifled in your growth, Seneca would likely regard this as a concerning sign that should not be overlooked. It is important to clarify that not every relationship must be centered on pushing you to your utmost potential or achieving extraordinary feats. However, those who genuinely care for you should aspire to see you thrive. They ought to act as your supporters and motivators, rather than as weights that pull you down into a realm of regret and missed opportunities. Taking the time to engage in introspection is crucial. Ask yourself why you continue to maintain this relationship. Are you doing so out of routine fear or a sense of loyalty? These inquiries may be difficult, yet they are essential. The reality is that authentic connections, which are truly deserving of your time and affection, should elevate you. They should inspire you to become a better version of yourself each day. Stoicism underscores the necessity of surrounding oneself with individuals who positively impact our lives. It is not merely about amassing friends or seeking approval. Rather, it is about cultivating a circle that enhances your existence, fosters your development, and aligns with your core values. Therefore, if you find yourself in a relationship that resembles quicksand rather than a springboard for advancement, it may be prudent to reassess its role in your life. Remember, desiring personal growth is not an act of selfishness. It is a fundamental aspect of being human. Sometimes, growth entails parting ways with those who impede our progress. not out of resentment, but with appreciation for the lessons learned and the resilience gained from recognizing when it is time to move on. Reflect on your relationships and evaluate whether they serve as pathways to your best self or obstacles to your advancement. The journey of self-improvement is inherently a collective endeavor. The right companions are essential to enrich this experience. Many of us have encountered moments when we felt overwhelmed by negative emotions within our relationships. Have you ever found yourself in a scenario where drama takes precedence and support is conspicuously absent? It can be quite draining, cannot it? Marcus Aurelius offered profound wisdom regarding our emotional responses, famously asserting that we possess control over our minds, not over external circumstances. Understanding this principle reveals where our true strength resides. This insight can significantly transform how we navigate relationships fraught with jealousy, anger, or other negative emotions that may overshadow our interactions. Consider this if your relationship resembles a battlefield rather than a sanctuary. It is a clear indication that something must change. While these emotions are part of the human experience, they should not serve as the foundation or defining characteristics of any enduring relationship that aims to provide peace. I am not implying that we should strive to eliminate feelings of anger or jealousy entirely. That would be akin to attempting to breathe without air. However, what Marcus Aurelius teaches us is that we are in control of our responses to these emotions. If jealousy arises because a friend appears to be advancing in life while you feel stagnant, or if anger surfaces when someone undermines you, remember that you have the power to choose your reaction. But what does this look like in practice? It begins with self-awareness, acknowledging when you experience these emotions and reflecting on the reasons behind them. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What lessons can I derive from this? How can I respond in a manner that aligns with the person I aspire to be? These questions may not be easy to confront, but they are crucial. At times, the healthiest response may involve creating distance or initiating change. It is not a matter of evading challenges, but rather understanding that if the foundation of a relationship revolves around dragging each other into detrimental patterns instead of fostering mutual support, it may be necessary to reevaluate the situation. This does not imply failure on your part, or that the other individual is an antagonist in your narrative. It is merely an acknowledgement that not all relationships are intended to withstand every phase of our lives, and that is perfectly acceptable. The Stoics emphasized the importance of aligning with nature, and at times the natural progression is to drift apart. Therefore, if you find yourself in such a situation, it is important to reflect on it. Navigating negative emotions with Stoic wisdom. Engaging with negative emotions in your relationships can be challenging. It is beneficial to pause and reflect on the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who reminds us that we possess control over our minds, our reactions, and ultimately, the choice to foster relationships grounded in positive and supportive energies. It is within these nurturing environments that we can truly flourish, develop, and attain tranquility. We should not allow drama to dictate the nature of our relationships. Rather, we should strive to build connections founded on mutual respect, understanding, and authentic support. Ultimately, these are the relationships that endure and bring out the best in us. Now let us address a significant yet complex issue: the influence of manipulation and control in our relationships. In any relationship, feeling more like a puppet than an equal partner is a significant warning sign. It is essential to discuss the concepts of autonomy and freedom as articulated by Epictetus, who stated that no one is truly free unless they are the master of themselves. This notion warrants careful consideration. True freedom, according to Epictetus, originates from within, stemming from our ability to govern our actions, choices, and ultimately our lives. What implications does this have for us when we find ourselves in relationships where we feel deprived of agency, where our choices, desires, and even thoughts appear to be influenced by another? Such circumstances clearly indicate that something is amiss. Manipulation and control can manifest in various ways, sometimes subtly, through persistent suggestions that divert you from your passions, or more overtly through demands that dictate your identity and actions. These behaviors are not indicative of a healthy relationship. Genuine connections, which merit our time and emotional investment, are established on the principles of mutual respect and freedom. Stoicism emphasizes the significance of autonomy, encouraging us to be the captains of our own ships. If you find yourself in a relationship where you are perpetually second-guessing your choices, it may be time to reassess the dynamics at play. Your choices and the sensation of having your wings clipped warrant introspection. It is essential to question why one would remain in an environment that suppresses personal freedom and hinders the ability to author one's own life narrative. The reality is that severing ties with an individual who manipulates or controls you is not an act of cruelty. Rather, it is a recognition of your inherent worth, autonomy, and the right to lead a life that resonates with your true self. This process involves embracing the wisdom of Epictetus and reclaiming your freedom to make independent choices, to grow, and to live in accordance with your values. Indeed, the decision to distance oneself from such relationships can be profoundly challenging, often requiring the relinquishment of familiarity or even the company of someone for whom you have deep affection. However, it is crucial to understand that Stoicism does not advocate for the path of least resistance. It champions the pursuit of the right path. At times, the right path may necessitate moving away from what is detrimental and toward a more authentic and fulfilling existence. Genuine relationships, those that truly enhance our lives, are characterized by respect for our individuality and freedom. They inspire exploration, inquiry, and personal growth, rather than attempting to reshape us or dictate our life choices. If you find yourself feeling manipulated, take a moment to reflect on Epictetus's assertion that no one is genuinely free who is not the master of themselves. Consider whether it is time to sever those ties and embrace the freedom to be your authentic self. This journey is worthwhile, leading to a life where you are in control, surrounded by relationships that uplift and honor your autonomy. Let us value and pursue connections that empower us, enabling us to be the architects of our own lives. Ultimately, true friendship and love should liberate us, not confine us. What occurs when a relationship begins to inflict more harm than benefit? When the time spent with someone leaves you feeling more depleted than invigorated, more anxious than supported, it can feel as though you are perpetually treading lightly, ensnared in a relentless cycle of conflict. The dangers of manipulation and control. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living in accordance with nature, which encompasses our own intrinsic nature, while striving for a life characterized by virtue and tranquility. They recognized the significance of fostering relationships that align with these ideals. Therefore, if you find yourself in a relationship that detracts from your peace and hinders your personal growth, it may be prudent to consider the Stoic perspective. They would likely advise taking a step back to assess the situation with clarity. Is this relationship enhancing your well-being? Is it facilitating your personal development, or is it a persistent source of negativity that depletes your energy and leaves you feeling diminished? If the latter is true, it may be time to reevaluate whether this connection genuinely serves your highest interests. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-awareness and the bravery to make challenging decisions that align with our well-being and values. This philosophy does not advocate for emotional detachment. Rather, it encourages us to discern what is ultimately beneficial for our long-term happiness. At times, this may necessitate the difficult choice to distance ourselves from relationships that are more harmful than helpful. It is important to note that not every difficult moment indicates a toxic relationship that should be terminated. However, if you consistently feel worse in the presence of someone, it signals that a change is needed. Healthy relationships may encounter challenges, but fundamentally, they should provide support, love, and opportunities for mutual growth. If you find this perspective resonates with your current circumstances, take a moment to reflect on the situation. Consider the steps you can take to address any underlying issues. Open and honest communication is essential. Perhaps it is time to engage in a candid discussion about your feelings. If circumstances do not improve, remember that prioritizing your peace and well-being is entirely acceptable. The Stoics would remind us that we have a responsibility to ourselves to cultivate nurturing relationships. It is essential to prioritize healthy relationships while releasing those that do not contribute positively to our lives. Let us commit to fostering connections that enhance our well-being rather than complicate our existence. Ultimately, we all deserve relationships that bring us joy, personal growth, and peace. It is through confronting challenges and making difficult choices that we become stronger and more aligned with our authentic selves. This embodies the Stoic philosophy of embracing what benefits us and possessing the discernment to relinquish what does not. Mutual respect is a critical factor. Without it, there can be no foundation for any constructive relationship. In the absence of respect, what do we truly possess? It is akin to attempting to construct a house on sand. Inevitably, everything will crumble. The Stoics, who greatly valued the pursuit of a virtuous life, emphasized the importance of self-respect and the respect owed to others. They believed in the inherent worth and dignity of every individual, a principle that should be evident in our interactions. If you find yourself in a relationship where you are not accorded the dignity you deserve, this is a significant warning sign. It transcends mere feelings of being undervalued. It highlights a disregard for a fundamental aspect of your humanity. Mutual respect serves as the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, forming the basis for trust, love, and genuine understanding. Without it, one is left with a relationship that is empty, unfulfilling, and ultimately unworthy of your time and emotional investment. I can anticipate some of you questioning the simplicity of this perspective, especially if you genuinely care for the other person. This is a valid concern, as relationships are intricate and emotions can be overwhelming. However, the wisdom of Stoicism can provide valuable guidance. The Stoics advocated for clarity, rationality, and living in accordance with our highest values. They would advise us to take a step back and reflect. To evaluate our relationships, we must consider whether we are being authentic to ourselves. Are we remaining in circumstances where we are not valued? Are we honoring our intrinsic worth and the principles we aspire to uphold? If the answer is negative, it may be necessary to undertake a thorough reassessment. This does not automatically imply severing ties with someone in a harsh manner. Rather, it involves acknowledging your own worth and making choices that align with that recognition. This could entail establishing clearer boundaries, engaging in an open dialogue about your feelings, or, in certain instances, recognizing that it may be time to part ways. It is essential to prioritize self-respect, identifying harmful relationship dynamics. Insisting on being treated with respect by others is not an act of selfishness or demand. Rather, it is a manifestation of the self-worth that Stoic philosophy encourages each individual to develop. It pertains to living with integrity and ensuring that your relationships embody the respect and virtues you aspire to uphold in your own life. Therefore, if you find yourself in a situation lacking mutual respect, take a moment to contemplate what this signifies for your well-being. Reflect on how you might address this concern in a manner that honors your dignity and values. Ultimately, every individual deserves to engage in relationships where they are treated with the same respect and consideration they are willing to offer in return. Let us endeavor to foster connections that are founded on mutual respect, where each person is recognized and appreciated for their true self. Such relationships not only endure, but flourish, exemplifying the essence of a life rooted in Stoic wisdom and virtue. At its core, Stoicism emphasizes acceptance of our lives, our relationships, and the world around us, not as we wish them to be, but as they genuinely are. The Stoics, with their practical and grounded perspective on life, teach us that there is significant strength and freedom in perceiving reality without the distortions that illusions often create. What implications does this have for our relationships? It necessitates a candid and thorough examination of them, prompting us to ask whether they are based in reality or if we are clinging to an idealized fantasy. Are we overlooking warning signs, dismissing issues, or constructing an image of someone that does not align with their true nature? If this is the case, we are not benefiting ourselves or our partners. Being ensnared by illusions in a relationship can resemble being trapped in a mirage from afar. Everything appears flawless, but upon closer inspection, it reveals itself to be devoid of substance and truth. This is not to suggest that hope and aspirations lack a place in relationships. They certainly do. There exists a delicate distinction between pursuing healthy ambitions and becoming ensnared in fantasies that hinder our capacity to engage authentically with the true essence of our relationships. Embracing the truth, as advocated by the Stoics, involves confronting these illusions directly. It requires the courage to acknowledge and accept the realities of our connections, even when such recognition is uncomfortable or painful. This endeavor is undoubtedly challenging, demanding a level of honesty and vulnerability that can be intimidating. However, the power of truth is profound. It serves as the cornerstone upon which authentic and meaningful relationships are established. The journey of accepting reality over illusion can be transformative. It may necessitate the acknowledgement that a relationship does not align with your initial perceptions, or that your partner is not the person you envisioned. Such realizations can be difficult to accept, yet they are essential for genuine growth and emotional liberation. This acceptance creates an opportunity to engage in relationships that are authentic, where love is shared for who you truly are, rather than for the illusions you have created. The pursuit of genuine happiness and love should never involve compromising one's values. These principles serve as the foundation that guides us, acting as the moral compass that influences our decisions, actions, and the overall trajectory of our lives. This leads us to a thought-provoking question. What occurs when a relationship tests these fundamental beliefs, the foundation of mutual respect? Compromising on one's core values can present a challenging dilemma that warrants careful consideration. Stoicism offers profound insights into this issue, suggesting that sacrificing our fundamental beliefs for the sake of a relationship is an excessive cost. Our values define our identity, influence our decisions, and guide our interactions with the world. To compromise these values is to diminish a part of ourselves, a loss that no relationship should necessitate. Engaging in a relationship that requires actions contrary to your principles, even if initially minor, can gradually undermine your sense of self and the values you uphold. This situation transcends ordinary sacrifices or compromises, which are typical in healthy relationships. It involves a betrayal of your very essence. The teachings of Stoic philosophers, such as Marcus Aurelius Epictetus and Seneca, highlight the significance of maintaining integrity and virtue as essential components of a fulfilling life. They stress the necessity of remaining true to oneself and living in accordance with one's values, regardless of external pressures or temptations. This alignment is what imbues our lives with meaning, direction, and purpose. Your values are not indicative of failure. Rather, they represent a bold act of self-respect. This is a proclamation that you hold yourself in high regard, choosing to engage only in relationships that elevate respect and resonate with your true self. Let us challenge ourselves to embody the integrity and virtues that the Stoics esteemed. It is essential that our relationships reflect and uphold our values, rather than diminish them. Ultimately, it is our commitment to these values that shapes our identity, navigates us through life's challenges, and leads us to genuine fulfillment. Therefore, hold your values dear, treasure them, and never compromise them for anyone or anything. By doing so, you will not only honor the wisdom of the Stoics, but also create pathways for relationships that are authentic, meaningful, and truly enriching. When discussing reciprocity, we refer to the equilibrium of give and take within relationships. It involves mutual support, where both individuals contribute equally. However, what occurs when this balance is disrupted, when one finds themselves in a lopsided relationship, perpetually giving yet seldom receiving, it creates an undesirable situation that many have encountered. Reciprocity is not merely a desirable trait, it is essential for the health and sustainability of any relationship. Consider a scenario where one individual consistently gives, while the other consistently receives. This dynamic is inherently unbalanced. Such a situation can foster feelings of resentment, fatigue, and undervaluation for the giver, while the receiver may develop a sense of dependency or entitlement. This imbalance undermines the fundamental nature of a healthy relationship. The Stoics offered profound insights regarding relationships and the significance of mutual support. They emphasized the importance of contributing to the well-being of others without sacrificing one's own welfare. For the Stoics, the ideal relationship is characterized by harmony and mutual respect, where both parties assist one another in their quest for virtue and a fulfilling life. If you find yourself in a one-sided relationship, it is beneficial to take a moment to contemplate the Stoic principles of balance and mutual respect. Consider whether you are honoring your own self-worth by permitting this imbalance to persist. Additionally, reflect on whether you are showing respect to the other individual by perpetuating a dynamic that lacks reciprocity, reality versus illusion in relationships. encouraging growth and contribution to address an existing imbalance in a relationship does not inherently require the termination of that relationship. Rather, it can serve as a valuable opportunity for development for both individuals involved. The process begins with open communication, where one articulates their needs, establishes boundaries, and explores methods to achieve greater equilibrium within the relationship. It is essential to foster an environment that allows the other person to contribute, not only materially, but also emotionally and spiritually. Healthy relationships are inherently dynamic, evolving over time and necessitating effort, compromise, and adaptability. However, the cornerstone of such relationships should always be reciprocity, ensuring that each individual feels valued, heard, and supported. This mutual support is fundamental in building trust, deepening connections, and creating an atmosphere where both parties can flourish. It is important to recognize that seeking balance in relationships is not an act of selfishness. Rather, it is a vital aspect of ensuring that one is both giving and receiving the support, love, and respect they deserve. The goal is to cultivate relationships that are not only sustainable, but also enriching for both individuals. Therefore, let us aspire to create connections where reciprocity is the standard rather than the exception, embracing the Stoic ideals of balance and mutual respect, to foster relationships that uplift and support all involved. Addressing the complexities of this subject is essential, particularly when it comes to recognizing abuse in any form, be it physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological. Such behavior is a clear and unequivocal indication that it is time to exit the relationship. Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in dignity, self-respect, and the intrinsic value of the human spirit, categorically denounces any form of abuse. Such actions not only contravene the Stoic principles of respect for oneself and others, but also undermine the foundational trust and safety that relationships should embody. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of acknowledging our inherent worth and underscores the necessity of preserving our dignity. Dignity and self-respect are not merely aspirational concepts. They serve as practical principles that guide our decisions and behaviors, particularly during challenging times. When confronted with circumstances that undermine these essential values, Stoicism encourages us to respond not with vengeance or anger, but with a profound respect for ourselves and the intrinsic worth of our well-being. Abuse undermines dignity and self-respect, aiming to erode the victim's sense of identity, exert control, and instill fear. This approach is fundamentally opposed to the tenets of Stoicism. The Stoic response to such adversity is unequivocal. Seeking assistance and leaving the abusive relationship is not only crucial but essential. This action aligns with the Stoic dedication to leading a virtuous and dignified life, one that honors the inherent value of every individual, beginning with oneself. Deciding to exit an abusive relationship is undoubtedly one of the most formidable choices one may face, demanding significant courage, resilience, and often the support of others. In this context, the Stoic practice of seeking wisdom from those who have encountered similar trials or from professionals who can provide guidance becomes invaluable. Seeking help, whether from friends, family, or professional services, is not indicative of weakness. Rather, it is a demonstration of strength and a reaffirmation of one's worth, as well as a commitment to a life free from harm. Furthermore, Stoicism extends beyond merely advocating for the departure from abusive situations. It also highlights the importance of healing and the restoration of dignity and self-respect following such experiences. It teaches us that while we may lack control over the actions of others, we possess the power to determine our responses and the direction of our lives. The journey of healing from abuse can be viewed as a Stoic endeavor, focusing on re-establishing control over one's inner self, reaffirming personal values, and reconstructing one's life in accordance with those values. It is important to clarify that if you find yourself in a situation involving abuse, it is not your fault and you are not alone. Seeking assistance and relying on the support of those around you can provide the strength needed to navigate this difficult time. The non-negotiables, values, and reciprocity. Taking steps to extricate oneself from a detrimental situation exemplifies the utmost respect one can demonstrate towards oneself. These actions pave the way for a life where dignity, self-respect, and well-being are rightfully prioritized. In the spirit of Stoicism, it is essential to acknowledge the significance of valuing ourselves, recognizing our intrinsic worth, and taking decisive measures to distance ourselves from harmful circumstances. We must remain steadfast in our dedication to dignity, self-respect, and the pursuit of a life that is not only devoid of abuse, but also abundant in virtue and meaning. Failed communication can present a significant challenge. What occurs when communication within a relationship falters and efforts to resolve issues lead to stagnation? When finding common ground appears to be an overwhelming challenge and mutual understanding feels unattainable, this situation transcends a mere obstacle. It serves as a warning sign indicating deeper issues that require attention. Stoicism, with its enduring wisdom, offers valuable insights in this context as well. Effective communication is essential for any flourishing relationship, as it enables us to articulate our needs, convey our thoughts, and connect meaningfully with one another. In its absence, we navigate our relationships in obscurity, often misinterpreting the thoughts and feelings of others. The Stoics recognized the importance of clear and honest communication, practicing it in their lives and advocating for it in their teachings. They emphasized the necessity of listening, understanding, and responding with wisdom and empathy. So how should we respond when communication falters? First and foremost, it is vital to understand that communication breakdowns often signify underlying issues. These may include a lack of trust, unresolved grievances, or simply differing communication styles. Regardless of the underlying cause, Stoicism encourages us to confront the issue with clarity and an open heart, prompting us to reflect on our own contributions to the communication failure. Effective communication is essential for fostering understanding and connection among individuals. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of reason and logic in addressing life's challenges, and he would likely advocate for applying these principles to resolve communication difficulties. This approach involves stepping back to minimize emotional responses and objectively analyzing the situation to identify where communication is breaking down and why improving communication necessitates the commitment of all parties involved. It is crucial to create an environment where everyone feels heard and valued. This entails active listening, which goes beyond merely waiting for one's turn to speak. It requires a genuine effort to comprehend the other person's viewpoint. Clear and respectful expression of thoughts, free from accusations or assumptions, is also vital. Moreover, it is essential to exhibit patience and perseverance, especially when progress seems elusive. Stoicism further highlights the significance of empathy and compassion in our interactions. It is important to recognize that everyone faces their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. What may appear as hostility or indifference could be a defensive reaction. By approaching communication with empathy, we pave the way for deeper understanding and connection. Failure in communication does not signify the end of a relationship. Rather, it presents an opportunity for growth for both individuals and the relationship itself. It allows for a deeper exploration of each other, the development of enhanced communication skills, and the strengthening of bonds. Therefore, when confronted with communication challenges, reflect on the Stoic values of clarity, honesty, and empathy. Use these principles as a compass to navigate through difficulties, keeping in mind that the objective is not merely to increase dialogue, but to enhance the quality of communication. In the richness of effective communication lies the true essence of connection. Meaningful relationships are established on fundamental principles. Envision a relationship that, rather than serving as a source of tranquility and solace, becomes a source of turmoil and distress, addressing abuse and failed communication. Experiencing a relationship that feels like a relentless storm can significantly disrupt your inner peace, leaving you in a state of unease. It is indeed challenging when the connections meant to enhance our lives instead compromise our tranquility. This serves as a clear indication that it may be necessary to pause and evaluate the impact of such a relationship on your well-being. Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured through the ages, emphasizes the importance of maintaining inner calm. It teaches us to foster a state of tranquility that remains unaffected by external factors. The Stoics assert that peace of mind is not merely a valuable asset. It is vital for a fulfilling life. They advocate for the pursuit of equanimity amidst life's fluctuations, which includes managing our relationships with wisdom and discernment. When faced with a relationship that persistently disrupts our peace, the first step is to adopt a reflective approach and assess the situation with objectivity. Consider the reasons behind the disturbance. Is it the other person's behavior, unresolved issues, or perhaps your own reactions and expectations that contribute to the unrest? Engaging in this self-reflection is essential, as it shifts our response from emotional reactivity to rational consideration. After pinpointing the source of the disturbance, the next step involves contemplating potential changes. Can the issues be resolved through candid communication? Are there boundaries that need to be established or reinforced? It is important to remember that Stoicism does not promote passive acceptance of all circumstances. While it teaches us to embrace what we cannot change, it also encourages proactive measures where we can effect positive change. However, if after thorough reflection and effort, the relationship continues to be a source of distress, it may be prudent to reassess its role in your life. This does not imply abandoning the relationship at the first sign of difficulty. Rather, it involves recognizing when a relationship is fundamentally misaligned with your values and well-being. The decision to distance oneself from a relationship that disrupts your peace is significant and should not be made lightly. It demands courage, honesty, and sometimes the readiness to let go for the sake of your well-being. However, it is essential to remember that the Stoic aim is not to eradicate all discomfort from our lives, but rather to develop an inner resilience that enables us to confront challenges with composure. Ultimately, the relationships we choose to nurture should enhance our quest for tranquility rather than hinder it. They ought to be sources of strength, growth, and joy rather than ongoing turmoil. If you find yourself frequently unsettled by a relationship, view it as an opportunity to apply Stoic wisdom. Take time to reflect, assess, and select the path that leads to peace. Let us endeavor to surround ourselves with individuals who foster our tranquility instead of detracting from it. In doing so, we not only honor Stoic teachings but also advance our own journey toward a life filled with peace, purpose, and deep fulfillment. The quality of our lives is significantly shaped by the quality of our relationships. It is about achieving balance, embracing truth, cultivating respect, and above all, ensuring that our connections enrich our lives without compromising our peace. As we conclude our discussion today, I hope you carry forward the Stoic principles we have examined together, allowing them to serve as a guiding light through the challenges and joys of your relationships. The quest for tranquility, virtue, and wisdom is a collective journey that we all share, progressing one step, one decision, and one relationship at a time. Should this dialogue ignite a sense of aspiration within you? Seeking tranquility in connections. To foster greater exploration, understanding, and personal development, I encourage you to delve deeper into our shared journey. On your screen, you will find a playlist designed to enhance your knowledge of Stoicism, its core principles, and their applicability to various aspects of your life. I invite you to click on it, so we may continue our collective growth challenge ourselves and nurture lives filled with profound meaning and joy. I appreciate your presence today, and until we meet again, continue to pursue tranquility, seek wisdom, and remember that in the intricate tapestry of life, we are all interconnected through our shared humanity and our quest for good life. See you in next video.